Thumbnail? I could do that for the thumbnail, so
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Should be good. Yep. I'll go check it out, and then I'll text you. I'm gonna save it for a little bit, just in the back, okay? Let me know if you have anything. You've got your G chat open, okay?
Yep.
Still out here? Still got jeans on?
The camera,
What?
the mic's on right now for the thing. So.
Where do they want to place your set? I don't know.
Graduates, guys. Graduates are taking their pictures. So they're coming off stage. They're going to stand there. I think they're going this way. So, but you're right there.
Hey, that's good for me. something we can do.
Good evening.
Oh, there we go.
Please silence your devices. I now welcome Kennedy Drolet, President of the Class of 2022, to begin our ceremony.
Good evening. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Gentlemen, please remove your hats and caps. Everyone ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Parents, relatives, friends, Weston High School faculty and staff, and above all, graduates. On behalf of the Weston Board of Education, Superintendent Ms. Wolak-Barbiero, Principal Ms. Gavoni, and Class of 2022 advisors Ms. Michelangelo and Ms. Sweezy, I would like to formally welcome you to our commencement ceremony. When brainstorming about what to say to all of you today, I considered that graduation speeches often feature a famous person whose achievements motivate and inspire. But I'd like to take a different tack and talk about someone not so admirable, from whom we can also take important lessons. I'm referring to the entrepreneur Elizabeth Holmes, founder of Theranos. Holmes attended a top high school like ours in Houston, and her ambitious parents forced her to learn Mandarin fluently as an edge to get into Stanford. Innovative, intelligent, and driven, at an early age, Holmes was touted as a trailblazer in the field of biomedicine. She dropped out of Stanford to run the company she founded, which promised a breakthrough in healthcare. A device that could use just a drop of blood to test for signs of hundreds of dangerous diseases. Investors flocked to Theranos, and by the age of 30, Holmes was named the world's youngest self-made billionaire by Forbes magazine. But any of you that followed Elizabeth's story in articles, books, and movies would know that her revolutionary blood testing device never actually worked. When problems in the device surfaced at early stages, Holmes denied them, absolutely refusing to admit failure and address the issues. In her attempt to cover up errors and faults, she fabricated data, prevented regulators from inspecting her machines, and fudged test results on a massive scale. In doing so, endangering the lives of thousands of real patients. Ultimately, Theranos went under, and Holmes was indicted for counts of investor and wire fraud. While I'm not insinuating any of us will be involved in the next biggest scandal in Silicon Valley, I do think the story of Elizabeth Holmes is an important learning lesson for all of us. Growing up in Weston and attending Weston High School has given us remarkable insight, broadened our horizons, and fueled our ambitions. But sometimes we wonder if with so much privilege and resources also comes the expectation that we be flawless and perfect. How many of you have chosen to keep your hand down in class rather than potentially answer a question wrong, or felt ashamed or embarrassed by a poor performance on a test or quiz, or been unwilling to try out for a play or a sports team, or join a club because you feared you wouldn't succeed? In a small town, it's easy to get trapped in our identities, narrowly categorized by our strengths, But as we move beyond the shelter of Weston into our future, it's so important that we dare to take on new opportunities and embrace life and all it brings. The failures and successes, the obstacles, and the assets. And it's equally as crucial we accept and admit to our mistakes as steps along the path to growth and improvement. My message for you all today is simple. Don't fear failure. Rather, fail often and beautifully. Learn and laugh from the experiences. Struggle in a new field. Make mistakes, but also make new friends and connections. Because in life, failure is not the opposite of success. Rather, it is part of success. Don't be like Elizabeth Holmes, someone willing to sacrifice everything to hide their faults and failures. As we sit here today, celebrating all of our successes that led us here, let's also reflect with humor and perspective on mistakes we made along the way. Mistakes that shaped us into who we are today. And as we go forward, let's welcome failure, not hide it or deny it, but continue to learn and grow from our mistakes and misses. Class of 2022, this is not the end of the road, but merely the beginning. I wish you all the success and the failures on your wondrous paths to fulfilling lives. Best of luck to each and every one of you.
It is my honor to present to you the Salutatorian of the class of 2022, Abigail Miles. When Abby gets involved in something, she does not merely participate, she immerses herself. This is evident not only in her academic work, but also in her artistry and musicianship, her performance on the soccer field, her commitment to serving the community. Abby's passion and determination will serve her well when she enters Georgetown University this fall. And so, on behalf of the Weston Public Schools, I present this bowl to you, Abby, in recognition of your outstanding achievements.
Good evening, everyone. The Faculty Key Award, presented annually, seeks to recognize the senior who, in their years at Weston High School, has made the greatest contribution to the academic and spiritual growth of the school, and at the same time has used their opportunities for maximum self-realization and personal growth. In recognition of these achievements, as determined by a vote of the full faculty of Weston High School, the 2022 Faculty Key is presented to Luca O'Neill.
Thank you, Cody. It is a tradition at Weston High School for the senior class to select a faculty speaker for graduation. By popular request from the class of 2022, I now invite Mr. Steve Fasoli to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. Administration, colleagues, graduates, students, family, and friends. It's my absolute honor to be in front of you today. Thank you for your trust and support for me to be a guest. For those that know me well, you know that I'm reluctant to be the center of attention, but when I am, I have a problem not being the center of attention. I tend to open my mouth before my brain is fully caught up on my thinking process, probably why I'm up here. The students know that I am what we would call an emotional educator. Can be very empathetic to my students and thus have a tendency to say what we're all thinking, sometimes to all of our amusement, right, seniors? Let's see if we can get him on one of his rants so he won't make us play today, Ben says. And rant I did over the last 2 years. You can all relax. I had time to craft this message to the graduates, so I will come closer to staying on the point than I have in a long time. Many of my students know that graduation is a hard ceremony for me to attend. During my 30-year career, I've been to many, but not all. And when I am here, I'm behind the conductor's baton and or sound console or my saxophone, standing inconspicuously outside the arena to watch but not be seen. It was even a complete accident that I wore a robe this year. Monica was taking orders and literally said, "Why not? If you don't use it, someone else can." And here I am. The reason I want to blend into the wall at graduation is actually quite simple. As a music teacher, I have the privilege of working with students over all 4 years of high school. I get to know you well. I watch you grow up and see your impact on our school and each other's lives. Saying goodbye to you is heartbreaking. And if I avoid the ceremony, I subconsciously avoid saying goodbye. In a way, my thinking is that if I'm not at the celebration, I can pretend that you are not leaving, even though I know it's not, it's untrue. I always say that I will be sitting on a beach in retirement someday, and I will spend those years remembering everyone at that point. Until then, I can pretend that you never left. Truth is, you do leave, but you leave a mark on the school for the rest of us to remember and help move forward. And for that, I am grateful that I chose to be a teacher and not tour the world with my saxophone. There's not a note of music that I value more than my experience with you. Seniors, I see you, not just the music students. I see you in cafeteria duty, in the hallways, test center, games, or maybe just sitting in the lobby, reading or talking to a friend. I see you when you're stressed out before or after a test, when your day was spectacular or terrible, when you turn your car into a loud rocket that can be heard in space. I see you when you show up to class with a rotisserie chicken, when you're fighting for a parking space or trying to make sense of the lunchroom rules. The truth is, I see you all. We all see each other. We don't always take a moment to acknowledge this fact. I'm not saying we should all walk around the hall with saying, "I see you," but we should all at least make a point to lift our heads out of our phones periodically and take in the sights and sounds. As silly as this is, these are the moments we will remember. Even in band class, it's easy to think there are 50 of us in here. What do I matter? It's just a long day in January, a large class. It doesn't matter because we're in between performances. Truth is, there are no unimportant moments. They all add up and become your life. You could be having an impact on other students without even knowing it. Maybe it's your smile that inadvertently takes away a moment of frustration from an anxious test someone just took. Or maybe you're the reason I go home at the end of the day not feeling like I failed my classes that day. Yes, teachers have feelings and do care a lot for our students. Although at times you may think teachers were created without souls in a dark void, the truth is we are like you, and we like you. Please take time to look at the small things. I remember one of the first times I consciously made the decision to slow down for a moment and take in the moment. It was many years into my teaching career, marching with a high school band on New Year's Eve throughout the Magic Kingdom in 2005. I was so stressed out about being perfect that I almost missed the point. When the gates opened, the band stepped down on the main street under the stars with Disney's fake snow blowing. I had to force myself to literally stop and take in the moment, like now. The fake snow, the smell of popcorn and candy, the lights and music, the thousands of spectators, it was amazing. It was the most coveted spot in all of the Disney performances, a once-a-year parade, a once-a-year night. But if I didn't stop to take a look around, I would missed out on the important part. It wasn't being perfect, although that's important. It was being together and being in the moment. We were one band of individuals in a sea of thousands. Easy for a student performer to think, what do I matter in this sea of humanity? Those students created a moment in time that impacted others in ways that can't be seen. 3-year-old clapping along with you, priceless. You may not have even seen the little face looking up at you in the sea of humanity, but they did, and it made an impact. There have been so many moments like that here at Weston High School that I'm glad I finally learned to take in a moment and just take it all in. I hope you do as well. So no matter how much we try to blend in to the wall sometimes, we are a huge part of this institution in each other's lives. You will all remember the little things more than the big things. The smell of the school, good and bad. Where you sat on the first day of 9th grade. As years go by, it's the little things that you will ultimately remember. If I may just give me a second to talk about the obvious. Seniors, as tired as you are of hearing this, you lived through a life-changing event. You had your entire educational world turned upside down. You lived through a pandemic that changed constantly as we all figured out how to work with it and around it. From we'll be back in 2 weeks to fully remote classes for months, half-day cohorts with remote afternoons, then the classes but still spaced apart, vaccinations, and finally back to the old normal. It's easy to see the negative. And man, did I see the negative. My students can tell you every wave has solely disliked enforcing the 4-to-a-table lunch rule or masks. As a band director, there was a lot of unknowns. Were we blowing into tubes of destruction, or are we safe from spreading aerosols? It was tough. But it's not that I will remember. It's the wow, that's what your face looks like without a mask. Or the smell of the school when we walked in after being remote for months. Yeah, the smell of the school. You know, it was the first student I saw in the hallways back that day. It was all of you that brought the joy back to my life after such a hard time to be in education. You made it happen. You lived through it. Even though we faced a disruption to your world rarely seen, you ultimately made it all work. You came back, you adapted, you kept doing what you loved, and we'll have stories to tell that'll make me like living through the 70s and 80s sound silly. Yeah, I did. There's truly no phrase I can think of to tell you how proud I am of your journey through this period of time. So I would simply say, on behalf of everyone on this stage and audience, we're proud of you. So going forward, appreciate the journey, take time to be in the moment, and remember, we have to impact everyone and everything around us, sometimes in small ways, hard to notice, others in huge ways that reverberate for years. Take your time spent here at Weston High School with you fondly. Big moments or small moments, they all add up and make you who you are. As the band students know, I'm going to do this with a very dry mouth. I'm always asked to play, and I never do. For the seniors, I'm going to play for a second. When You Wish Upon a Star, from me to you. Thank you. Good luck. I'm going to miss you.
On behalf of all of our classmates, we would like to take an opportunity for an important recognition. After teaching in 2 other districts, Ms. Guadagnoli came to Weston in 2015 as a 15-year veteran of education. At Weston High School, she has served as both a social studies teacher and a Latin teacher. She's described as a role model and a friend to students and colleagues alike. In the words of one of her colleagues, Ms. Guadagnoli's knowledge is endless, which makes her a phenomenal teacher and colleague. She's a committed learner who never stops in her quest to find engaging technological resources, new teaching strategies, or prevalent information about the world around her. Her life experiences have molded her into a brilliant and altruistic educator. She will be deeply missed at Weston High School.
All right, kid.
Ms. Michelangelo has served as a math teacher for 32 years and arrived at Weston High School in 2004. Her colleagues will miss her kindness, her dedication, and her honesty. In the words of one of her math colleagues, Ms. Michelangelo is one of the most compassionate teachers I know. She is fully invested in all of her students as if they were her own children, and is always willing to go the extra mile. Her professionalism and collegiality will be missed, but her friendship is everlasting.
Dr. Kenneth Craw has served in Weston for 14 years, first as principal of Weston Middle School, and then as the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. Under Dr. Craw's leadership, he has enhanced teaching and learning across the district, supported a community of collaboration, and dedicated himself to always doing what is best for the students of Weston Public Schools. One colleague stated that what she admires most is his ability to keep a level head and communicate a clear course of action to help us achieve our goals. We wish Dr. Craw the best in his new position as superintendent of the new Fairfield Public Schools. In honor of your service to Weston High School, we ask you each to come forward and accept these honorary diplomas.
Good evening, teachers, staff, loved ones, members of the town community, and a very special good evening to the Weston High School graduating class of 2022. Wow, it has been such an incredible ride. When we started this journey, we were mere freshmen. We were only 14 years old, and we had these big doe eyes with which we romanticized the world around us. We were ready for our quote-unquote stereotypical high school experience, like the movies had shown us. Unfortunately, we quickly realized that high school was nothing like what we saw on the big screen. There was a lot less drama, free time, and spontaneous musical numbers,
and a lot more reading assignments, math tests, and research papers. However, we adapted and somehow managed to endure everything that Weston High School threw at us. We survived freezing up during class presentations and writing daunting in-class essays. We survived tests in which the historical information was impossibly specific and the math involved barely any numbers. We survived our lives being completely uprooted and having to transition from learning in person to learning on a computer screen. Even outside of the classroom, we faced numerous challenges. As 14-year-old little freshmen who are new to high school sports, we had to try out against kids who had about 3 years, 5 inches, and 30 pounds on us. Against all odds, we made the team and made our way through the ranks, going from bringing water to practices to leading the team to a championship game. Despite the difficulties, despite the stresses and the worries, despite the mistakes, despite the impossibility of it all, we did it. We accomplished so many feats in just 4 years. There are many attributes that we could accredit to our ability to persevere and prosper, like our individual drives to be the very best we can be, or the quality of the teachers who have guided us along the way, or even our unwavering resilience as students. However, the greatest influence on our successes and what brought us to this very day, in my opinion, has been the support system that our student body has created for ourselves over the past 4 years. We bonded over the difficulties we endured and learned not only how to pick ourselves up, but also how to pick up those around us. Without the help of my peers, I never would have had the same confidence in Spanish class. Leaving any exam, I knew I could text in our class group chat and ask, okay, what was that lost audio and why did it sound like it was recorded while someone was driving through a tunnel? Everyone would agree and joke that they probably got every question wrong. They taught me that I wasn't alone in my struggles and that I was okay not to be perfect at everything. Without the support of my classmates, I wouldn't have done nearly as well in my sophomore year English midterm where, in the 10 minutes before the exam started, we rapidly reviewed the plot of each book we had read, every grammatical structure we had learned, and all the vocabulary words we would never use again. Everyone wanted to encourage each other to do well and reassure each other in the stressful moments leading up to that test. Without the aid of my friends, I never would have adapted to online learning. If they saw I wasn't on the Zoom call, they would text and ask where I was, prompting me to shove the last of the granola bar in my mouth, run upstairs to my room, and quickly log on. Without the encouragement of my teammates, I never could have finished 4 full years full of exhausting tryouts, rainy practices, freezing game days, and painful conditioning. They would pick me up when I fell down, many times, quite literally, and they taught me how to celebrate any victory, no matter how big or small. Overall, these arduous endeavors pushed us outside of our comfort zone, and as a result, not only did we become better students, we became better people as well. Our class community has come together over the difficult times that plagued these past 4 years, and we truly committed to the idea of leaving no man behind. I knew that if I fell, my peers would be there to catch me. This type of unity is extremely hard to find in today's world, and should be appreciated as so. As we sit here today, reflecting on all of our accomplishments, we have come full circle. We are freshmen again. We each have a whole new world and a sea of opportunities sitting right in front of us. This time in our lives can be very intimidating because there are so many new things happening. But it's also incredibly exciting because there are so many new things happening. As we begin to embark upon our own individual journeys, I encourage you all to recreate our little Weston community and to find your people. No matter what path we take in life, if we can find the same support that I felt over the past 4 years here, there's no doubt in my mind that each and every one of us will succeed. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2022.
It is my honor to present to you the valedictorian of the class of 2022, Taylor Werner. Taylor, in case you couldn't tell from her speech, is a real optimist. Her glass half full outlook is readily apparent, and her vivacious personality brings joy to all those who work with her. Whether in the classroom, on the lacrosse field, or in her volunteer work, Taylor brings her all. Taylor's independence and drive to success will be great assets as she begins her freshman year at Dartmouth College. And so, On behalf of the Weston Public Schools, I present this bowl to you, Taylor, in recognition of your outstanding achievements.
Can we try to have an optimistic outlook? Can we buck up just enough to see the world won't fall apart? Maybe this year we decide we're not giving up before we try. This year we make a new start. Another Another stumble as I'm reaching for the right thing to say. Well, I'm kinda coming up empty, can't find my way to you. Does anybody have a map? Anybody maybe happen to know how the hell to do this? I don't know if you can tell, but this is me just pretending to know. So where's the map? I need a clue. 'Cause the scary truth is I'm flying blind, and I'm making this up as I go. Another masterful attempt ends with disaster. Pour another cup of coffee and watch it all crash and burn. It's a puzzle, it's a maze. I try to steer through it a million ways, but each day's another wrong turn. Does anybody have a mind? Anybody maybe happen to know how the hell to do this? I don't know if you can tell, but this is me just pretending to know. So where's the map? I need a clue, 'cause the scary truth is I'm flying blind, I'm flying blind, I'm flying blind, and I'm making this up as I go, as I go, as I go.
Good evening, everyone. Given the incoming showers, I am going to keep my remarks very brief. I always consider myself a teacher, so I can't pass up just one more opportunity for a lesson. Listen. No, that's not the direction, that is the lesson. Listen actively. Listen critically. Listen with all of your senses. Don't listen to agree or disagree. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand. Listen to empathize, to reflect. Listen to yourselves. Trust yourselves. Listen to others. Listen intently to the world around you. You'll be surprised by what you can learn and all that you can say without really speaking at all. It has been my privilege to serve as your principal. I am so proud of everything you have accomplished. Congratulations, class of 2022. Ms. Wolak-Barbiero and Dr. Pesco, on behalf of the faculty of Weston High School, and with great pride, I present to you the Weston High School class of 2022.
Okay, this is it, the moment you've been waiting for. Dr. Pesco, following a thorough review by Weston High School administrators and counselors, shout out to the counselors, I certify that the members of the class of 2022 presented today, the 21st of June 2022 have met the requirements as delineated in Weston Board of Education policy and state law and are ready to graduate. Congratulations. I invite Dr. Pesco and Ms. Gavoni to join me in the presentation of your diplomas. Well done.
Timothy Eduardo Bello. Liana Michelle Achatulo. Maya Hudson Albright. Christopher Charles Amato. Alexa Lee Diamond. Tate Hayden Aaron. Jack Samuel Aronson. Alana Nicole Atkinson. Kennedy Mason Drolet. Sotaro Tyler Atsumi. Liliana Grace Atra. Delphina Barra. Chloe Wynn Kaplan. Luke Patrick Barish. Bradley Joseph Barcelo. Lauren Victoria Biggin. Lola Ann Connolly. Mateo Bilbao. Hayden Patrick Billfield. Poppy Charlotte Blake. Emily Josephine Melito. Jordan Bloomshe.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Roger John Boss II. Jasper Winston Gill. Thomas Patrick Bradbury IV. Alexandra Madison Bradley. Blake William Braun. Alexander James Halpern. Kieran Peter Brennan. Haley Asbury Brooks. Jake Ian Rutsky. Carly Joelle Rutsky. Lucy Christina Brooks. Jack Prescott Brown. Ryan Ethan Budd. Luca Shane Arminiana O'Neill. Victoria Sarah Bumbarova. Amy Michaela Bunkosi. Abigail Kathleen Miles. Taylor Sweetser Werner. Paige Elizabeth Bierka. Bert Tae Hong Burnsman. Justin Michael Butler. Michelangelo Antonio Camacho. Arcadia Paige Kittleson. Cooper Thomas Capola. Ariana Francis Carioto. James Herbert Carlson. Deanna Grace Levine. Ella Christine Carmody. Evan Anthony Cavicchia. Oliver Frederick Chamberlain. John Patrick Chilla. Demetra Maria Christakos. Cooper Patrick Clemens.
Hey, what up, Clemens?
Sydney Ella Cobrin. Abigail Vaughn Cohen. Henry Maitland Collins.
Yes, sir!
Julia Ann Constantine. Ben Macaulay Corsentino. Soren Spencer Covell. Duncan Barnard Crane. Caitlin Kane Cross. Riley Ann Cross. Sumner Andre Cravat. Isabella Tilney D'Aquino. Victor Mario Di Pasquale. Sophia Jolie Dockery. Sadie Rosal Edelman. Massimo Zachary Emmanuel. Nicholas Antonio Encarnacion. Kiona Jagat Patel. Madeline Eve English. Sean Michael Enright. Benjamin Allen Epstein. Catherine Ho Shea. Ari Samuel Escandon. Sarah Grace Valentine Esposito. Jennifer Grace Miller Evans. Catherine Franco. Cody Chang Crosby. Gavin Francis Fay.
What up, Gav?
Madeline Rose Ferrante. Skylar Paige Fidel. Alexis Brooke Fliegelman. Nicholas Dean Fontana.
Let's go, Nick Fontana!
Renzo Christopher Garone. Anthony Michael Giannitti. Sophia York Gitlin. Jordan Emily Gladstone. Jordan Rebecca Greeley. Shay Rose Green. Zoe Elizabeth Grosinger. Cobb Daniel Harriton. Henry Kerwin Hayden. James Brian Hayes. Samuel Michael Hensinger. Ryan Shue.
Hey, Shue! Give us away, Shue!
Gemma Ashling Huck. Thomas Theodore Hurst.
Top check, top check, top check, top check, top check.
Maxwell John Hutton.
What up, Hutton?
Michael Hayes Jones. Kevin Patrick Joyce. Megan Patricia Hazer. Rex Addison Kaplan. Latus Jan Kaczynski. Lexi Quint Kessler. Jessica Frida Avery Coiner. Aiden Elizabeth Kreitler. Isabel Lilia Kusick. Michael Christopher Lagana. Scott Avery Lang. Matthew Terry Lautenbach.
What up, Batman?
Melissa Jane Lawler. Sebastian Eligard Leary.
What up, Leary?
Mackenzie Rose Lehman. Brandon Reese Lucy. Constantina Godahides. Tejal Demon. Audrey Masembo Waboma. Jessica Lee. Jonathan Dean Lintel. Matthew Longatano. George Frederick Lord. Felix Joseph Louis. Xavier Claude Louis. Nate Charles Lucetta. Sydney James Lyon. Cole Anthony Mancinelli. Zach Billings Matthias. Nicholas Elliott Maddox.
What up, Neeks?
Todd Andrew Maxey.
Yeah, Todd, let's go.
Antonio Henri Maya Laforte. Bryn Alexandra McGee. Evelyn Elizabeth Miano. Lucas Alexander Minor. Theo Nicholas Messiano. Ava Marie Moniz. Cooper Halbert Moore. Riley Holmes Nakamura. Leah Marie Niles. Alex Novotny. Roman Lewis Hauser Novotny. Gabriel Miguel Padilla. Gabriel Aaron Hackney. Zephyr Thisbe Parker. Ethan Michael Patterson. Alexander Nikita Peterson. Douglas Phillips. Leonora T. Phillips. Leah Kate Heinels. Christopher David Purcell. Arthur Hugo Rademacher. Fabiani Ramirez. Nicholas Kyle Randall. Kylie Reagan Razaki. Nomi Richardson.
Billy,
Madeline
let me through.
Patrice Rico. Stephen Asher Samuel Raffay. William Robert Riley. Brianna Sky Rogers. Raffaella Rose Rondini. Amelia Jane Rudolph. Cassandra Luz Ruiz. Wilkins. Brian Sanchez. Christian Severiano Sanchez. Matthew Al Santana. Nicole Elizabeth Setanovsky. Kathleen Leanne Salsi. Nori Dimitri Alexander Sayed. Matthew Scott Paulus Schrader. Carly Elizabeth Siegel. Jake Alexander Selden. William Francis Sherlock. Hallie Page Singer. Nihal Jan Skitzel. Aaron Curtis Smith. Raina Alex Smith. Harrison Gray Solomon. Sophie Alana Stein. Charlotte Ann Stewart. Justin Alexander Sun. Alicia Alexandra Sun. Oliver Tatey. Stephen Michael Thiel.
Hey, thanks for the
David Tominelli.
Dave check! Dave check! Dave check!
Damian Traska.
Shit like that, dude. I don't even shit like that.
Catherine Tunney.
What?
Jack Baca.
What up, Jack?
Hey, what up, Ken?
Kenneth Anthony Vasquez. Aisley Marie Vong. Xander Walker. Alexis Walt. Max Weiss.
What up, Max?
Abby Wimkin. Benjamin Wilder. Brianne Withington. Charlie Sean Woodley. Teo Zeta.
invite the student government executive officers to the stage to conclude our ceremony. Guests, please remain seated until the staff and graduates have exited.
JR 16.
Good afternoon. Reflecting on the last 4 years, there's one phrase that comes to mind. This can't be real. Whether it was searching through the halls on your very first day, the winning of your first sports game, a 2-week vacation turned into Zoom lessons, rushing into class late from an Uncle Leo's run, a bat loose in the halls, or it all coming to a close on this very day, this can't be real seems like the only applicable exclamation. That has been the true gift of our class, to sharing so many unique moments and to navigating each unpredictable experience with a sense of resilience, creativity, humor, and compassion.
Most of all, there is a remarkable unity that is especially present within us, having grown together since elementary school into the young adults we are today. As we sit together in these final moments, let's make a promise to each other to continue to face each day with the same grace, passion, and tenacity that we've demonstrated over the past few years. With this in mind, we can face any challenge, big or small, and step into the next chapter of our lives with the excitement that there is so much more joy, happiness, and adventure to come. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2022.
And now, in our final act as representatives of this class, we ask you, members of the class of 2022, to please stand.
And join us in turning your tassels from right to left to signify the start of our next chapter. Congratulations to the class of 2022. We did it!
Yo, y'all my name again? I don't have partner again. Fuck it away.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Get up there.